Hello viewers, in today's video, we will take you to a thrilling rescue, where every second and minute can decide between living and being lost forever. Tu Tien, a gentle and resilient girl, suddenly disappeared, leaving no trace. But what makes everyone shiver the most is where she was found. Who imprisoned her, and why did they do it? Was this just a simple kidnapping, or was there a dark conspiracy hidden for many years? Watch until the end of the video to discover the whole shocking truth. Jack, gasping, looking at the crumpled paper in his hand, muttering, "Tu Tien, you left this mark, right? A small piece of cloth like this can't be a coincidence." He raised his head and looked around, his eyes scanning the abandoned room. This house was abandoned for a year, but clearly, someone had been here recently. The cup still had water in it, and that chair had muddy footprints. Jack shined a flashlight against the wooden wall, whispering, "If you're still alive, you're waiting to be found. And I won't leave you in the dark for another minute." He called the police, his voice urgent, "I think I've found something. Send a team to the warehouse behind the old farmhouse. There are hidden traces. It's very possible she's being held in the basement." "Hang up," Jack said to himself. "You once believed in me, now it's my turn not to fall. No matter who is behind this, no matter how many layers of lies I have to tear down, I will bring you back." The flashlight beam swept across the moss-covered brick wall. Jack walked slowly, each step heavy with the feeling of unease rising in his heart. Suddenly he stopped. An old carpet was spread out that did not match the cement floor. Jack bent down, lifted the carpet, and his heart clenched. Underneath was a wooden board with rusty hinges, made temporarily, as if someone had deliberately hidden it. His hands trembled slightly, but he still resolutely lifted the board. A gust of damp air blew straight into his face, carrying with it the stench of time imprisoned. A small wooden staircase appeared, leading down to the pitch-black basement. Jack shone the light down. There was no sound, no movement, but he had a very clear feeling someone was down there. His heart pounding, Jack took each step down the stairs, the wood creaking under his feet. Each breath became rapid. Below him, the light touched an iron door frame. It was half locked. He stopped. He heard a very faint sound, like someone was gasping for breath, or trying to swallow a sob. Jack whispered, his voice choked, "Tu Tien, are you there? I'm here." The iron door just opened when a dark figure rushed out from inside. Jack immediately dodged to the side. The flashlight fell to the ground. The scattered light revealed his face. It was him, the man who appeared in the old photo in Mrs. Thai's file. He held an iron bar. His eyes were panicked and a little crazy. "You can't take her away. I haven't even gotten the price she has to pay." Jack clenched his fists, shaking with anger. "What's your purpose in taking her? What did she do wrong to have to live like this?" The other guy shouted, "Wrong? She carries the blood of the woman who ruined my life. She deserves to be punished. I just finished the job she didn't dare to do." Jack stepped forward, his eyes blazing. "You use hatred to tie up an innocent person? I will end everything here." The man struggled, but Jack was faster. He dodged, punching him straight in the face. The iron bar flew out, rolling on the cold cement floor with a clang. The other guy fell down, gasping for breath, helplessly watching Jack rush into the dark room behind. Tu Tien lay there, her eyes blurred with exhaustion. But as soon as she saw Jack, she burst into tears. Jack knelt down, hugged her, and choked, "I'm here. No one can hurt you anymore." Just a few minutes after Jack carried Tu Tien out of the dark cell, the sound of a police car siren rang out, tearing apart the darkness that was covering the old house. The flashing red and blue lights reflected on the pale face of the perpetrator, who was now tied up on the cold cement floor. The door swung open. Lieutenant Kwong stepped in, his eyes sharp. "We have been following him for a long time." But unexpectedly, at the last minute, it was Jack who provided the final piece of the puzzle. Jack looked at Kwong, nodded, then said with his breath still unsteady, "I don't think he worked alone. He has a motive, but there is someone else behind it." The police officer held up a bag of documents. "We have confirmed it. He is Trin Van Hao, cousin of Mrs. Thuy." The whole team was silent. Tu Tien's eyes widened, trembling. Kwong continued, Mrs. Tui had concealed the fact that Tu Tien was not her biological daughter-in-law. After discovering her true identity, she wanted to cut off all ties with her, but instead of dealing with her legally, she hired Hao himself, a man with a violent criminal record and a vagrant life, to deal with Tu Tien quietly. Jack clenched his fists. What did she do wrong? Was she punished for her entire life just because she was born in the wrong place? Huang shook his head, his voice low. No one has the right to trample on others because of their past, even if they are family members. Trin Hao was silent, his face lowered, but in those hazy eyes, the resentment had not yet faded. Tu Tien shed tears, but this time, it was because she had survived. She had seen the light, and the truth had been brought to justice. A few weeks after the rescue, the sunlight began to return to the small roof where Jack and Tu Tien were temporarily living. The small room was neatly renovated, filled with light. No more darkness, no more chains, no more hopeless screams, only gentle mornings, where Tu Tien woke up and found she was still alive, still loved. Jack gently brought the bowl of hot porridge to the bed, placed it next to her, and said nothing, just a tight grip, a gentle and sure gaze. No need to say anything. He smiled. I understand. We have a whole life to heal. Tu Tien could not stop the tears from flowing, but this time, they were no longer salty, but sweet like the first rain of the season after a drought. She looked up at Jack, whispering, I thought I no longer existed in this world, but you pulled me back, with everything I did not dare to hope for anymore. Jack sat down beside her, his arms around her thin shoulders, like an unspoken promise. Out on the porch, the golden sunlight gently fell on the newly blooming bougainvillea. An old chapter closed, a new chapter opened, not promising eternal peace, but certainly with love, understanding and hands that would never let go of each other again.
The walls were made of bamboo, many places rotten, with holes that let sunlight through with thin streaks. The roof was made of dry palm leaves that had turned black.